Oh, okay, bye then. That cat, he was super cuddly, being really cute. Thought I was gonna get a hug and, thought I was gonna get to start the video off with a cute Hades. Nope. Second the camera's on, he's gone. Immediately. This video brought to you by my YouTube members and patrons. Thank you guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are going to be returning to r/AccidentalAlly, the home of transphobes, queerphobes, and all sorts of phobes trying to be transphobic or queerphobic, but completely failing. Just completely not understanding exactly what it is they're trying to hate, and just failing at hating it. That boy is now yelling out in the hallway. Hades, come here. What's up? What's the matter, mister? Okay. Very quickly before we begin, I just wanted to mention that YouTube members and patrons, you guys get an extra video every single week for as low as £1 a month. That equates to about 25p per video. So if that is something that interests you, please do consider joining, as it really helps support the channel. But if you don't want to do that, or you can't afford it, that is totally valid. Sort your own financial situation out before you even consider supporting me. Genuinely, you come first. You are more important than me, I promise. However, there are ways to help that don't involve spending money. For example, if you have the feature unlocked, not everyone does yet. YouTube is being weird and rolling it out, but if you have the hype ability, you can go down to where the comment section is on mobile, and instead of clicking on the comment section, you can swipe to the side and you'll have the ability to hype the video. That helps extend the reach on the video a little bit, so if you have that feature, please do consider using it, as it really does help support the channel. But other than that, let's get straight into the video, shall we? A woman's life finished at 28. A man's life started at 28. Few will understand. He transitioned. Well, it was a happy story after all. I don't know what else this could mean. What else could this mean, honestly? I think it's just that, just he transitioned, and we love that for him. Sorry guys, I am extremely uneducated and thought FTM meant first time mum. We'll be changing username in 7 days, but my trans friends are welcomed. There is no way someone would create the username FTM baddie not knowing that that's what that meant. There's no way. No, come on. Oh, that's my favorite thing. That's the best thing I've ever seen. Trans men will never be women. Trans men will never be women. Trans men will never be women. And on and on and on and on. I don't know. You sure look like a woman to me. That's because she is one. That is exactly the case, because she is one. That's... She's a trans woman. She is a trans woman, not a trans man. She is a trans woman, therefore she isn't a man, and she will never be a man. And trans men will never be women. So she's a woman. I'm glad we could figure that out. I love it when right-wingers accidentally make memes that whip hella ass. The gay roller, traditional values, Christian values, sanctity of marriage, etc. Sorry, it's just... That shouldn't have made me laugh as much as it did, but something about having a meme about, gays destroying traditional values and running out of things to put, because funnily enough, gays aren't actually destroying those things. Those things still exist for people that want them. So they couldn't think of anything else. They were like, I've got nothing else to put in this meme. I know, etc. That'll tell them. That'll teach those gays. They're so bad at making memes. They're so bad. What are you doing? You come get. Don't just stare at me. Come get. What if I throw it over here? Good boy. Uh-oh, now the chipper's getting involved. Well, that's just going to be going on in the background. My name is Nancy, and I am a woman. Not a pregnant person, not a chest feeder, not a birthing person, not a person who bleeds, not an inseminated person, a woman. It's not difficult. You're right. You don't need to be any of those things to be a woman. That's exactly right. That's what we've been saying this whole time. I'm glad that we could figure it out, Nancy. I'm glad we could figure that out, because you're right. You don't need to be any of those things to be a woman. You're absolutely right. Teach your sons that cooking and cleaning are basic life skills, not gender roles. Teach your daughters mowing the lawn, taking out the trash, basic house maintenance, and so on are basic skills, not gender roles. Yes, that is absolutely correct. We should be teaching that. There's this weird thing when it comes to like household gender roles that I've never quite understood, right? That is like certain jobs being for certain people. This idea that like mowing the lawn is the man's job, or that cooking is the woman's job, and all of this weird shit that doesn't make sense. I grew up in a household where both my mum and my dad would cook, clean, mow the lawn, take out the trash. You know, all of those things were done by both people because they would share responsibilities, right? Like a normal way of doing things, sharing responsibilities. I've never understood this idea that like only some jobs are for some people and only some jobs are for other people. At some point, you're going to be living alone, right? At some point, regardless of what your gender is, you're going to move out and you're going to be living alone because you're not going to be living with a partner if you don't have a partner yet. So it's important for you to have all of these skills, regardless of what your gender is. So why is it like these are only considered to be certain gender roles? And I don't know if even half of these jobs are considered gendered, like in the UK, and maybe it's just an American thing, or if it's just my specific household didn't do this. And it's not even like, you know, there was no religion in my house or whatever, because my mum's literally Mormon. So like there's a pretty conservative religion going on there. So I just don't understand where this idea of like these are specific gendered roles comes from. It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, I still don't understand how a man can feel like a woman. You can't feel like something you aren't, because you're not a woman, and so you would never know how that feels. Wait, exactly right. A trans man doesn't feel like a woman, he feels like a man. A trans woman doesn't feel like a man, she feels like a woman. You feel like exactly what you are. That is totally correct. It pisses me off to no end that you have someone who isn't trans, okay, doesn't understand how it feels for a trans person to be trapped in a body that isn't the way they feel, right? They don't understand how it feels to have people decide for them how they are, like who they are, right? They don't understand how that feels because they don't go through it. And rather than saying, you know, explain to me how that feels, or I don't understand how that feels, but I appreciate that that's how you feel and that's what you're going through. Instead of accepting that different people have different experiences and feel different ways, they go, well, I don't feel it, therefore it doesn't exist. As a man, I've never felt like a woman, therefore trans women don't exist. There's no way for a trans woman to exist because I personally don't feel like a woman. It's like the most narrow, close-minded idea of how people feel and like the human experience, right? You feel like the gender that you were assigned at birth. Congratulations, that's cool. You're cisgender. I'm happy for you. Not everyone feels that way. Born male, raised male, proud fucking male. Deal with it. Bro just put he, him on his jacket. I mean, yeah, that's one way of saying my pronouns are he, him. But obviously, you know, if you ask this guy what his pronouns are, he's probably going to respond something along the lines of, I don't have pronouns. I don't believe in that shit. Despite the fact that, you know, like I is a pronoun, you is a pronoun, he, him, pronouns. Pronouns are a thing that we use to refer to people when we don't know what their name is, or when we aren't actively referring to them by their name, right? Pronouns are something that everyone has, that every language has. Some languages don't even have gendered pronouns at all, and I find that a really interesting concept. Some languages have gendered pronouns for everything, including inanimate objects. That's just how language be. A woman is someone who doesn't need to put in any work to become a woman because she's already a woman. Yes, thank you. Let's keep this energy going. That means if you're a trans woman that hasn't gone through any gender reassignment surgeries or hormone treatments or anything like that, still a woman. You don't need to get surgeries. You don't need to take estrogen. You don't need HRT or anything to be a woman. You're a woman. I'm glad we could get there. I'm glad that this fucking poorly photoshopped picture of J.K. Rowling with a crown on saying a quote about how women are women could really get across the message that all women are women. Like, it's really funny to me that transphobes have this hatred for trans people for no other reason than trans people existing, right? But when trying to explain gender in a way that disallows being being trans, right? They can't do it. They can't, because their idea of what gender is narrow enough that it encompasses trans people. Like, they're not able to rule out trans people when trying to specifically say something that rules out trans people. They're unable to do it. Women aren't pretending to be men, you idiot. I mean, you're right. Trans women are not pretending to be men. Trans women are women. But if this doesn't just feed into this exact same, like, every single time trans issues come up, transphobes completely forget that trans men exist. They forget it every time. Like, trans men exist, okay? They exist. They're a thing. They're a part of this discussion. I find it amusing. It's every time. It's every time they completely forget. Transphobes always throw things like, there are only two genders around, which obviously isn't true. But even if you firmly believe that, I'd still be a woman, not a man. You will never be a man. I can't tell if you're a parody account or think she's a trans man. She's a trans woman, by the way. She literally just said, regardless of whether you believe there are only two genders or not, that doesn't change the fact that I would still be a woman, right? That's what she just said, that she is a woman, and regardless of what you believe in that regard, she would still be a woman, because a woman still fits into this two-gender view, right? They saw a trans person say, I would still be a woman, and they went, you will never be a man. That is the quip that they came up with. That's the mega own that they came up with. You will never be a man, they said to a trans woman who just said, I would still be a woman. They said, you will never be a man. They're not very bright, are they? They're not the brightest of people. I literally found out I'm a trans guy when I was 11, and I'm 17 now. And what does that mean for you? You probably haven't had any operations, so you're still a man. Yes, I'm a man. Thank you for confirming my gender identity. Also, are they insinuating that if you're trans, say you're a trans man, right? You are a woman until you get gender reassignment surgery, and then you're a man. Or like the opposite way around with, a trans woman. That's not how that works. A trans man is still a man whether he's had surgery or not. A trans woman is still a woman whether she's had surgery or not. These things are things that trans people choose to get, but they don't have to get them to be trans. It's the same with hormone treatments, right? You don't have to get them to be trans. You don't have to get them. So like, I don't know, but either way, they misunderstood and were like, no, you're still a man. They are a man. You're very right. Thank you for understanding. A woman loses all her power once she sleeps with a man. A man gains his power once he does. So what I'm hearing here is that heterosexuality is the problem. See, if a woman sleeps with another woman, she won't lose any of her power. However, if a man sleeps with another man, then he gains his power. I'm just hearing that heterosexuality is the problem. That's all I'm hearing. They'll use your real name when they bury you. Yay, I hope. Does this person not understand that, like, if you legally change your name, something that anybody can do, that's the name that'll go on your grave? Like, if you legally change your name, when you die, they're not going to put a name that isn't your legal name on your gravestone. They'll probably put whatever name your family requests to be put on the gravestone, to be perfectly honest, unless it's specifically, in your will or wishes to have a specific name on your gravestone. But generally, your legal name is the one that's put on your gravestone. And your legal name isn't necessarily the name that you were given at birth, right? You can change it by law. That's the name that's gonna go on your gravestone, whatever name you choose. Like, they'll use your real name when they bury you. They'll use whatever your real name is, i.e. the name that you are currently using and have assigned by the government. I don't, do they know how gravestones work? It's a hunk of stone with a name carved into it, and it's whatever name you want. Gravestones aren't like government mandated. That's not how that works. Don't you know? When you're born, the second your parents name you, you have a gravestone assigned. It's made on the spot. You carry that gravestone with you till you die. Man, that's the most metal thing I think I've ever said. Trans flag and Boba Fett colors are inverted. That is incredible. I kind of love that though. That does, however, mean, at least pose the question to me that, does that mean mean that Boba Fett is anti-trans? You know, if you have the trans DeLorean, does that mean that the trans DeLorean's like villain is Boba Fett? Is he the antagonist? Because he never struck me as the kind of person that would be transphobic, but you know, if he's the inverted version of a trans person, then I guess that would make him transphobic. And the final post, you're a man. Yes. He is. It's never not going to be funny. It's never not going to be funny watching a fully grown adult try and dunk on a trans person and completely miss. Completely miss. Like, it's a pretty low batting average, isn't it? When you can't identify what someone is. So you just throw out a Hail Mary and your Hail Marys never land. Like, you'd think at this point that they would assess exactly how it is that they get this wrong every time. You'd think they would adjust their aim just a little bit. You'd think they would learn, you know? You'd think that if you were wrong that often, you would learn something. Because being wrong is one of the best ways to learn. Getting things wrong, making mistakes, that's one of the easiest ways to learn things. And yet they don't. Like, they're incapable of it. They can't even get their transphobia correct. And that's just, it's embarrassing, quite frankly. But that is where I'm going to end the video, everybody. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below. I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. But a huge, massive special thank you to all of the wonderful YouTube members and patrons that do support me. All of your names are up on screen right now. It genuinely means so much, and it genuinely helps so much. So thank you to everybody that does. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.